consent is so important. But the fact that we're also very clear.
Yeah.
We don't
because
have children.
I might have a social life and a social media platform where I post myself, but I'm really very careful on how I post my children. So
and my friends as well.
Yeah, so people need to start respecting that.
Yeah.
And you should be able to know when I see something and I flag it, you need to pull it down.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. You know what I'm really loving about the conversations I'll be having with amazing women is that as you go forward, and if you look at the videos that have gone before this one, is that what I wanted to do, I have achieved. And it's to celebrate women who are doing something so unique, so extraordinary, that I am not regurgitating a stereotype about what makes women great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what I consider conventional business success, but we can't all keep telling that story. And that's why I'm loving this woman. So, she is a family IT consultant. And she's also, and she has specialized in cybersecurity.
Yes.
And she will talk to your family. How long have you been doing this for?
I started my business in 2012. Then I was just doing anything IT. But then towards, anything IT. I mean, anything
websites,
that, websites, social media, some consultancy that doesn't make sense here and there. One time I found myself doing trunking. Can you believe it? This kind of trunking here.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, I did some trunking. But then towards the end of 2015, I just realized, no, wait a minute, I think I need to specialize. Because when I'm innovating, I want to innovate in one space. I want to be that person who is known for a certain content, and I will keep reading about it, writing about it. So I'm not just a jack of all trades. So I just had to quit all that. It was a bit difficult. In 2016, 2017, I fired 16 clients. That was very hard.
Whoa.
That was very difficult. Then I started feeling like a startup because then, I mean, you know, I'm going into territories that I have not seen anybody going into. So I can't say, oh wait, Caroline will show me the ropes. And
no, there's nobody.
So I'm the rope.
Yes, yes, and then everybody else will come after you.
It was really scary, but I have a good support system in terms of business. And I'm one of those people who believes in failing and getting up again. I mean, what is the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? I'll fail and I'll start again.
So what was the client that made you say, I'm on to something?
One lady, I had a conversation with her son. He was really addicted to gaming. And she kept telling me, you need to talk to my son. And I told her, first, I will walk a journey with him, but I'm not a rehabilitator. I would want to be able to start from a point of creating values, the foundation. But we will do this. And she was very gracious. She let me work with the son. And at some point, I started now realizing the gaps. And I went back and told her, you know what? Actually, you're the problem. She looked at me, she said, excuse me?
Excuse you, yes.
I said, you're the problem. Your environment is enabling this child to only think about gaming. You're not giving this child anything else. One, you're not giving the child time. Two, you are you're gifting the child with new technology all the time. So you're giving them a phone every time you travel and you're feeling guilty that, I'm not spending time with my children. You're just giving them gifts, and all of it is technology, from one technology to another. So when you're not also here to guide him on how he's going to use it, he will Google, and you have got no control of what Google tells your child.
Yes.
And so I told her, we are going to start, minimizing his screen time and curating his content, but you also need to plug in terms of helping, put in your time, put in your value system in him.
Yes.
Help him understand these are things that are good for you. And when you're talking about sex, stop saying this is bad. Say it's not age appropriate.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
Not now.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you start having those conversations, we will start seeing progress. It didn't take her 3 weeks. The son started loving being with the mother because they were watching things together. I showed him how to pre-screen his content. And to the point, the only thing he was very cautious about is this age appropriate for me? Plus 13, I'm not 13, so I'm not going to do this. And he was very cautious, telling the mother that we can't do this. So even when we are creating a movie night and we are choosing a movie, he would do that, but he was very, very deliberate on especially the age restriction. So the mother just told me, I think you need to do Mkolwe. And then I was, who?
Yes.
I'm like, you need to do Mkolwe. You're doing a better job than Mkolwe. I'm like,
oh,
who?
the parenting class.
So I had to start Googling who Mkolwe is. And I had to, and I reached out and I did one of his classes. And I'm like, what I want to do is help people in the tech space.
Yes.
There is traditional parenting, and I respect that space. But we are raising digital natives, the internet generation. So we need to be able to start getting into that space where we help them.
And those of us with children under 10, our kids are the true digital natives.
Yes.
The true.
Yes.
AI is not surprising to them.
No, not at all.
I was telling somebody the other day, it amazes me that it doesn't matter where I sit with my daughter, she knows the Wi-Fi password.
Yes.
I'm struggling for it and she's like, why don't you know it?
Yeah.
Like, I did not know for the longest time what Java's Wi-Fi password. My daughter knows. Yes.
Because it's
Java Love.
Yeah.
So I know them because she knows them.
Yeah.
Great Pizza for 360. I can't even remember the one for Sieges. She knows all of them.
She knows,
She's a true digital native.
And because the one thing that we don't understand is they want to know. So if you don't equip them with that knowledge, they will go and find somewhere else to get it.
Yes.
It's not like us to be like, okay, I'll procrastinate and do it later.
No.
They want to do it now.
Now.
Because it will bother them for the rest of the day.
Yes.
So we have to start not really keeping up with them, but getting to know why is this very important to you.
But I also think being a step ahead, and I hope this is something, you know, when you work with families, you tell parents as well. If we thought that before parenting consumed time, it does now, because I will hear that she wants to watch something, but I want to watch it first.
Yes.
And people ask me, you watch? I'm like, yes, I do. That's why there is my laptop.
Yes.
I don't mind what she wants to watch, but I'm going to watch it for language. I'm going to watch it for innuendo. Here's the thing. I mean, one of these days, I'm going to have a conversation with Disney. Some of the innuendo is a bit heavy.
Yes.
But then again, why am I picketing Disney?
Yeah.
I am the filter.
Yes.
And if I say we're not watching it, we're not watching it.
Yes.
We're not. Why? Because some of the language is wrong.
Yeah.
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 Period. Actually, I agree with you. And you know, one of the things I keep when we're having sit down with parents, and I'll be like, so you're giving your child a phone. What are they doing with it?
Yeah, what are they doing with it? Where are you calling?
And they will say a number of things, and they'll say a number of things. I'm like, okay, when was the last time you were in that phone? To just check, especially what apps are installed. It'll be like, yeah, so you'll find someone really, really struggling to remember the last time. And just allow me to just tell you a few of the apps that are there that people don't know exist, and our kids are using them.
Get your notebook.
Yes. So we know the Twitters, we know the Snapchat, we know. We don't know about Black Tumblr. Black
What's
Tumblr?
that?
It's the porn Tumblr.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's Tumblr, there's TikTok, where there's a lot of...
Yes.
There's TikTok.
I've seen TikTok.
Yeah. There's Discord. Yeah. And for the people who have allowed their children to be on WhatsApp and they're not 16, hey.
Okay, you know.
Yeah. There's GroupMe now here. There's an app called GroupMe, which allows people to chat in groups. Okay? You can single out yourself. You can be in a public...
I will have this because I can't have a tequila.
Yes. So GroupMe, we're in a group. Chat. I'll single out one of the people I feel, hey, you are interesting to have a conversation with.
So, sidebar.
So we'll get out from the public server.
Yeah.
We go to a private server. We can go from a private server and create our own server. So as a parent, it might just be one of those face value
and then
things.
It disappears because they went 3 levels down.
Yeah. And the thing is, it allows strangers. So you don't necessarily have to be talking with someone you know. It allows strangers. So GroupMe. Then there's Whisper.
Yes, I've seen Whisper.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, there are quite a bit coming up. House Party. It's live streaming House Party.
Yeah.
I think there's Live.me, which is Twitch by Amazon, which is a gaming, almost like a gaming site, which has now other chat functions. They're quite a bit. And the thing is, we can't quite keep up with all these apps.
No.
But we need to be able to start having conversations with our children. That, why is this app very important to you? What is it that you're consuming?
Why is it important to you?
And when they start questioning, they'll have to ask you, and you'll be like, when this thing is not used appropriately, the difference between positive and negative influence strikes there.
Yes.
So those conversations have to be very real, be very intentional. And that is what I think we are not equipping ourselves to do. I told you I did a survey the other day and asking parents, like this one particular question, have you noticed any negative behavior from your child with excessive screen time? Mm-hmm. And some of the answers were like, I just don't want to have this conversation. I have seen my child becoming a walking zombie. Mm-hmm. One told me that their son slammed the wall because they were going to the toilet and they were like this. So he didn't know where the exit was and slammed on the wall. And the mom was like, yeah, TV. So when we're not having those conversations at home, where else do you want us to have them? Because the family, the primary caregiver for the child is the parent.
Is the parent.
Or the guardian. There's no abdicating it. The government, number 4. Number 2, the education institution. That's where we need to start talking to the CS, Magoha, and trying to ask even what are we teaching in school.
Actually, I asked you this, and you asked me, and you told me there's a cost implication. So I was telling you, every time I was in on a campus when I went back to school in the US, whether I was at UCLA, NYU, there's some sites when I try to access, you tell me Google Safe enabled, and I was like, why isn't Google Safe enabled in a lot of our learning institutions?
Because of inappropriate content, number 1, and then the age restrictions.
But why isn't it not there? Why isn't it something that people are aware? Because for me, I'm a full-fledged adult, and I'm thinking, but I'm on a university campus where everybody is over 18. Why has Google Self been enabled? And why is it not enabled in institutions of learning?
Well, policy. And I think maybe I would answer this in 2 parts. Number 1 is just we don't know. I think to some extent we don't know these things exist.
Okay.
To some extent.
To some extent.
But then again, looking at the penetration of internet, it's not very in-depth in everywhere across the country. So we'll be talking about urbanized centers here and there, private schools here and there. Then again, the implication of when you're using some Google applications, they have a cost implication.
I'm willing to pay.
You're willing to pay.
No.
Yes.
Because the cost of not
is
higher.
True.
Yes.
That is very true. So now the conversation should be, can we have this standardized? Anytime that a school institution has internet, certain things have to be installed.
Policy. We
need to be having these conversations from policy.
Because once a year, I know there's always a conversation around, obviously, the internet use. And, for those of us whose children are in private, in the private school system, it's a big conversation. Yeah. But I always find that there's a certain wringing of hands and helplessness. And then there's usually me and 4 of my gangster mothers sitting there saying, no, this is not how we are rolling.
Because sometimes the conversations are, let's say, not difficult, because it's not about having a difficult conversation.
No, it isn't.
We want not to have the conversation.
We want not to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are assuming some of these things only happen not in Kenya, abroad. And then I tell people, what the internet does is that it has broken all physical barriers. All. So when your child is in there, they're exchanging culture, language, behaviors, everything. Everything. So you can't say that these things only happen to white people or people not here. And also, your kids speak to other kids. Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, Nduku's favorite person from, I don't know where, was Jojo Siwa. And they would turn around and tell me, Jojo Siwa has a new song. Now, how do you know this? Because somebody in school said so. So my job, I used to call it when she was about 5, it's called restoring factory settings. Once in a while we restore factory settings. I want to know what has been inputted in you, and I need to have it. See what is not good.
Yes. So, and sometimes people watch me walking around with my daughter like for a whole day. Like last weekend I was with her, and I think on the Sunday she said, I was with you all of yesterday. Yes, but I need to know it's inside your head. So we are going. Yeah. You and me everywhere. Yes, because you don't have a choice. We're going to talk.
We have to talk.
We have to talk. Yes.
Yeah. And I think even part of it is, and I keep telling parents, these standard conversations the standard starter conversations. How are you? you'll definitely tell me fine, right? How was your day? Good. Habari ya biashara? Nangangana? Tuko tu. You get?
I realized a long time ago, and I think I've talked about this on this channel, how we do the day. So it cannot be, how was your day? I want to know,
what is the best part?
What is the best part of the day? What did you not like about your day? What did you learn today that you did not know yesterday? Who did you sit with at lunch?
Who made you smile?
Yeah.
Who made you cry?
Yes.
What was the stress triggers in your day?
So I tell whenever I meet my daughter's teachers, I'm like, no, I know that story. I was told that when I was there. I can be downloaded in half an hour.
Yeah.
So if I don't get it in the evening, so and this is the other thing I have learned, and I know it's not for every parent, but there's a reason why I choose the days I do the drop-off. Because while we're in traffic,
there are certain things.
I will hear things.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
That is true.
Yes. So I have to do the drop-off or I pick up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I keep telling people there's this tool I use. It's called roses, thorns, and buds. So a rose like this smells good. It has thorns and it has buds. So the roses are good. How was your day? You know, talking about the good things. The thorns, what didn't quite work well.
Yes.
And then the buds, what can we improve? So what didn't work well? What do you think? What strategies can we use to make it succeed? And if it's something to do with self-esteem, you will pick those things out. If the child was being bullied, you will get to know from conversation.
Yes, from conversation, yes.
And when your child is behaving in a certain way, because I don't understand why people say that person has mental issues or they're being bullied and you didn't see the red flags. You should be able, from conversation, to just tap into certain things. Their routine changes, something went wrong. You start tracing back and getting to know. Wait,
and it must be a two-way conversation.
Yes.
Because I used to think that she would ask me, and what did you do? And what did she started this when she was like 5.
Yeah.
But earlier this year, when I launched the lipstick, obviously I told her this is what we're doing. I showed her the communication. A week later, she sits on my bed, because that's where conversations happen. She says, so how many have we sold?
We?
You know, I remember telling Nelly this. And she told me, how many have we sold? She wants to know.
Yeah.
But I also realized I'm not saying something that goes into a hole and disappears.
Yeah.
She heard me talking.
And you made her part of the process.
Exactly.
Yeah, you made her part of the process.
But that's the only way also she shares her day in detail. And let me tell you something. Let me look at the camera. There are days really I don't want to hear. If I could just get you to brush your teeth, we pray you go to sleep, I can be so happy. But she wants to talk about her day.
Yeah.
And then when she finishes her day, she wants to talk about mine. My brain is shutting down.
Yeah, you literally cannot sit up straight.
I'm like, tomorrow I'm dropping you. Why don't we talk about it? She says, no, I just want to know. Like, how many lipsticks have we sold?
That's the microwave generation. You put it in, it's 2 minutes. So you cannot postpone something.
I can't postpone it. There you are.
You can't.
What would you like to see around policy? Because we're a country that looks good on paper.
Around policy? Wow. First, we need to interrogate the STEM curriculum that we're teaching, the CPC. We need to interrogate it. And allow me to say why. Allow me to just say why.
May I told you to bring your notebooks?
Robots could take over 20 million jobs by 2030. That's
true.
Kind of like 11 years from now. 11
it's not
years.
Too far.
Yeah. 20
There's
million
2 election cycles.
20 million jobs. So if I'm not teaching my child about AI, machine learning, robotics, even just the basic coding, what am I launching to the marketplace? What will they be competing with?
You can't even
robots.
Get me started on this conversation. I go on and on and on. I just,
Number 2, in terms of policy, we need to start also, and I love part of what Ezekiel Mutu is doing in terms of pushing out local content. I keep telling the kids in my class, you tell your African stories. Let's create the games you want to play. Let us sell them to them, because we have an entrepreneurship class, and I keep telling them, what are you going to sell? They're like, so that Roadblocks you like playing, that game that you really love, Minecraft, whatever's. Can we create our own so that we sell it?
You and Wallace Kantai need to sit down.
Yeah.
I remember he once said, why is it every time we talk about entrepreneurship, everybody acts like they must save the world? What is wrong? He asked, I don't know why you ever met him. He's like, Angry Birds, it hasn't cured anything, but the kind of penetration it has is ridiculous.
Yes.
So those are the questions we should need to be getting into.
And I tell them, we need also to start looking at you people becoming digital advocates.
Yes.
And this is it. Even in school, we are taking in children with disability. We are so quick, very quick to sympathize with physical disability. But what I'm doing is helping children. You know what? You will interact with people with Down syndrome, with autism.
Yes.
Can we start learning what it means to have these people in our community?
Thank you.
And when we are creating those websites, those apps, make sure it can be used, not by you, yourself, and me, myself, and I, by children who have these neurological disabilities.
There you go.
Yeah. So in terms of policy, inclusion, we have to have inclusion.
In a big way.
The way I'm saying that STEM system, it has to have a portion of it that is dedicated to that line. We need to have funds dedicated to supporting systems. We need to have content, you know, even for the parents who have children and they don't know, my child has not been diagnosed, I don't know what the signs are. We need to start having that. And I'm coming up with a library for it, actually.
Fantastic.
So that parents can also get to know, why am I being told not to give my child gluten stuff? What is the problem?
What's the issue?
Yeah.
There you go.
And getting centers, getting help, which I know at this point in time is very expensive, but the system needs to have that, so that that mother and father in Marsabit, in Lokichogio, they have an autistic child, they're able to get into the system and support that child instead of keeping them at home.
Yeah.
Because what I keep saying is, what the Ministry of Education is doing right now is preparing our children for the same digital economy that the president launched. What you and I are doing right now is foundation, it's infrastructure. We might not really engage with it much.
No.
But we need to be able to put in the right infrastructure for them. So when we are not doing that, it's right now even in school, then we are failing already. Before we start, we are failing.
I mean, so one of the things I'm very clear about, if the kids want a tablet, like when we're out, I'm like, no, go make a documentary, come back and explore there and come back with a story.
Yeah.
Because I need you to start understanding that this gadget is not a thing you sit on and you play.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is consuming a lot of their time.
Yes,
and
I'd rather you go and come back. And I said, and go and interview the waitress and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, and then I switch it around. I'm like, now you're executive producer. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they need to understand how things are made.
Yes, and become digital creators themselves.
TVET is another conversation, but hey.
That one, yes.
Hey!
Part 3, season something.
I know. I when I get caught up in the education conversation, I get so worked up. People are like, she needs to breathe. Can somebody please give her water? Because I'm like, in 5 years, let me just put it this way. My daughter is 8, your son is 7.
Yes, turning 8 this year, yes.
In 10 years, the jobs that will engage him have not been created.
None.
Let me say this again. Do not exist. Do not have a name. Yet.
Yes. That's actually very true. And if you just even look at what has happened with the banking industry 2-3 years back.
I know.
How many people have lost jobs? Where are those people right now? Where are they? Because technology, the way it's happening, it's good, but it's making people redundant. So when you're not catching up, hey, you'll go home. The other thing is, in terms of policy, having certain, we were having a conversation on having certain policies from service providers. They all must be in sync, all of them. I know they're competitors and all, but we need to have a policy where certain firewalls must be installed, especially for the home setups, even school. So such that when I take this basic instrument and it's like, okay, so what's the password here, and I know I cannot access this content unless I'm really deliberate on it, you know?
Yes.
And it will give me those red flags. We need to start having
Safaricom Home. Yes. I get it, but it's time that we started putting up firewalls.
Yes, because the conversations I've been having, people want to put in internet at home.
Yes.
And when they call, they're told you have to block the sites. How many sites are you going to block per day? How many? That will be a full-time job.
You know,
It will be a full-time job. And the one less stress we need not to have is being a helicopter parent with a fire extinguisher, always putting out fire all the time.
Like, oh my God, they found.
Yes.
And there's a new one.
No. So that in terms of policy, it needs to be up there. It needs to be there. So that, yes, Communications Authority, yes. The other thing is the Child Protection Act needs to be amended.
I did an amazing conversation a couple of years ago. It was COP, Child Online Protection.
Yeah.
And I did both sides of it. I was very clear that I love the internet as a great instrument of learning and entertainment. But I also need, and it's the first time I actually said, any woman who goes around saying Miss Elewi if it was the internet needs to be smacked. It's no longer okay to be that parent who thinks it's cute to say, I don't know what they do.
Yeah, that's
oh
the
my
thing.
goodness,
Yeah.
it's the thing. It's not cute.
Yeah.
It's not cute at all.
That's ignorance.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's very expensive. But the thing is, and here this is the reason why I say this, that Protection Act, and allow me to just read that part, got very pissed one time when I was going through it, and then I saw what I was really arguing about was one line. It's gonna come.
It's gonna come.
Yeah. The policy, the right to privacy. Every child shall have the right to privacy subject to parental guidance, right? Parental guidance. So what happens if the parent is the one who needs to be taken away from the child? In the sense that before your child is 13, you have a YouTube account and you're posting their content. You're creating a footprint for them. But just because your child is not 18, they don't have consent, quote unquote, right? You're creating a footprint for them. And I know someone was telling me I have the right to embarrass my child. I'm like,
actually, no. Actually, no.
Child advertising, should they, yes or no, say they are party to, you know, be in that space? Because that opens up the bullying, the esteem issues, because they go into an environment where everybody's like, but you're that celeb. Because I think that this celebrity thing is, we take it to another level. Then your child starts behaving in certain ways because you expose them. And you did not have a conversation with them.
Did CA understand why you had a problem with that?
No, because the Ministry of Education was not there in that setting. We did not have police who we can actually ask. These numbers that you've given me at the back here, that have equipped my child, he has cramped quite a bit. When I'm being bullied, whom do I call? They call. So the cops are not there to say, take them through that process. That's my problem. And then also, defining hate speech and cyberbullying. Because in the court, I mean, I may say it just the way the dictionary says it. But even just the way you would explain sexual harassment, it's different from how I would explain it to you.
This is true.
For me, that's a big issue.
One size fits all.
Because the thing is, we have this institution that should be helping, but even we don't get to understand the nitty-gritties. Because I would love to help a child who's been bullied and it's a matter of life and death, for them to understand that if I make this call, I'll be helped. I will be helped. But we don't know that. We are not spreading this information fast enough. We are not talking to children. We are not telling them that this is what's supposed to be. And that's why, for me, I feel all these institutions need to work as one body.
I know. I mean,
what Ezekiel is doing, what the CA is doing, what the ministry is doing, worlds apart. They need to synchronize and say, wait, there are certain things that we need to have order and a system, so that we start having achievable outcomes. For me, that is very important.
You know, I'm still paused at the place where you said, what if the person needs to be taken away from the space is the parent?
Yes. But then the parent will go and say, parental guidance, mi ndo mzazi. Mi ndo mzazi.
You see why you need to find her? You need to find her, not so that you can just secure your home, your children, but I think institutions, schools, it's also better when you have these conversations as a group. And then you can decide as a family, we do want to engage her further. But also, as a nation, we really need to have those conversations.
We need to, in different quarters. We have to have these conversations. And
you know what surprises me is that there's an unspoken rule among our friends that we don't post children. It's there. But what I find also really endearing is that we ask each other, like if we have a social event, the person who chooses to post will ask everybody in the WhatsApp group, are you guys okay? And we're always there that only choose the ones where I look like Beyonce, you know? But I love the fact that we have learned to ask each other.
Consent.
Are you okay? Consent is so important. But the fact that we're also very clear. We don't have children.
I might have a social life and a social media platform where I post myself, but I'm really very careful on how I post my children. So
and my friends as well.
So people need to start respecting that. And you should be able to know when I see something and I flag it, you need to pull it down. It's my content. You don't have a right over it. Because once you post it and people start taking snapshots and everything, then I have no control.
This is true.
Because unfortunately, actually, the conversation I was having with CA was how we start having penalties, and very hefty ones for that matter. Because I saw a video going viral of 2 children, I think they were below 5 years, engaging in sexual acts, right? So there's the person who was taping it and sent it to social media.
Yes.
But there's Evelyn who sent it to Caroline.
Yes.
Those conversations have to be had because
they are uncomfortable,
yes,
but we need to have them.
Because already I've put the images and the video of those 2 children online. The internet never forgets. In 2019, I don't read CVs. What for? What for? So what will my son and daughter do when they're being hired? People will dive into their social medias to just do a footprint. Then they come across such kind of content. And there's nothing that is being done. Their penalties are not clear. So we need to start having very hefty penalties for one, and very, very clear penalties, so that we start nibbing these things, so that when I get uncomfortable content, I'll be very clear whether I want to send it to you or not.
There you go. Yeah. Yes.
Because people were having this argument, and they were saying, we need to know what is happening in the world. Then I said, wait, do you want us to take your child and use them as a guinea pig?
Yes. Why don't we? I mean, since we need to have these conversations.
Mtoto wako. Yes, because that is very responsible. That child has a parent who does not wish their children to be on a social site in that manner, because that's child pornography.
Yes.
But we need to be able to understand what's child pornography, by the way. The conversation starts there. The conversation starts there.
You are a woman we were meant to meet. I have to thank you guys, because I did not know she existed, and then you responded to my Facebook post and you said this one, and then in no time it was like, find her! And I was like, all right.
I have uncomfortable conversations, very uncomfortable. We need to have them. For me, let's just pull off the blinds, sit, let's have it real, because it's happening. Yeah.
Yes. And when this is just Kenya, the rest of the continent is about to call. And you know what? Ready or not, here she comes.
Yeah.
Ready or not, here she comes.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you. And if you ever need me to kick off the conversation, call me.
We've started. Thank you. Yeah.
But I know parents like push back. It's not my fault. Media is to blame. Government, the school.
Yeah.
First line of defense?
Parent.
There you go. But then Gava is number 4.
Number 4.
Imagine.
In any case, you're the one who's paying for the internet, right?
You're the one who bought the phone.
Right?
Don't you love it when you hear those parents who are like, oh, I don't know what to do. They won't give up the phone. Take it.
Actually, today I posted on my social media account, because it's a question I got very frequently. How do I get my children to get out of their phone?
Take it.
I told them, model that behavior you want to see in your children. Model it. Because if you're always on your gadgets,
I know.
It's monkey see, monkey do. When your child is asking for your attention and you're like, wait, give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute. No. It becomes, you have to model the behavior you want to see, because you don't have any moral authority to tell your child, you cannot be on your phone for so much time and you're always in yours.
Subscribe. That's you. And come back. And you can't binge watch me all day, and I know you don't, so.
There you go.
Yeah, so there you go.